Apple Watch hitting Best Buy shelves today. It is the first time the gadget has been sold out of Apple stores and certain boutiques. The news not doing much to lift the stock. Both companies are down more than 5% just this week. Bruce Turkel is CEO of Turkel Brands. Veronica Dagger is a columnist with the Wall Street Journal. Bruce, I want to start with you. What kind of move do you think this is? I mean, part of the appeal of Apple are those sexy stores.
Oh, absolutely. But you gotta love their discipline and their planning. They use the sexy stores and they're online to get distribution started, to get all the fanboys excited, and to sell the upscale products. Now they're moving general market with a distribution and exposure play using Best Buy, where they're only going to sell the sport watches and the lower line. It's just a beautiful example of how you time and schedule a launch.
Veronica, you agree with that?
Potentially, right? They need to expand their market. They're in a very limited market right now, so they need to gain awareness, get in front of more customers, because a lot of people are too intimidated to walk in that Apple store, and some older customers may not want to go online and shop for a watch. So Best Buy is another venue, as Bruce said. However, the question remains is how many people are actually going to buy the watch? Apple, we haven't really got a good sense of the sales figures about the watch yet. Still unclear. Are people going to fork over their paycheck or part of their paycheck for a watch where they may or may not need it? I think that's still unclear to see the future of this product itself.
Bruce, I mean, that really rings true because they didn't even want to break out the individual numbers in their last earnings. I haven't seen a single person walking around with it. You know, I have a house full of Apple products. I don't feel particularly compelled to go out and get this one. Seems like they have a problem.
You're right. What's happened was all the people who had to have it got them. You didn't buy one. I didn't buy one. We're both big Apple fans because they haven't yet come up with the killer app. They haven't given us the reason why. But as soon as they do, and you know it's coming, you and I will both be in line. I can promise you that.
That's true. And you're right. They do have a history of figuring that out. So there you go.
All right. Well, Abercrombie and Fitch ending its controversial on-call policy in its New York stores by the end of the year. The policy requires employees to be available for shifts that might get canceled at the last minute. The move coming after warnings from New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman that Abercrombie and 12 other retail chains may be in violation of state laws. Veronica, you know, I understand the policies toughen employees, and I've worked for terrible employers before, and I've moved on. Either I've swallowed that and managed to find a way of living with it for a while, or I've quit and got in a better job. Is this a role for an attorney general?
I'm not sure if it's the role for the Attorney General, but I think the larger issue is this really points to the state of the economy. I think a lot of people have trouble with this policy because they're trying to cobble together two different part-time jobs. If you have a policy like this, it makes it very difficult for a person who is working two jobs to make that happen because they have to be on call for one. So I think this just shows the economy is still struggling in a lot of ways because people are having to do multiple jobs.
Let's face it, I happen to have to reveal something here. My daughter worked for Abercrombie and Fitch. She worked for this. She understood how this policy worked. And most of her coworkers, almost 95% of them, were her age, in their early 20s. So these are people who can either stomach this for a while and move on, or just move on immediately. Why get the Attorney General involved?
Well, look, I'm on call for you guys, and I love it. So it's not always a bad thing.
Right.
I think what's happened is, you know, with the on-demand economy, with what Uber and Lyft are doing, I think the old carbon-based businesses are saying, wait, we can take advantage of that too. There is a good sign, though, about the Attorney General putting out this warning, because it seems to me that if this didn't happen, this is union bait. This is the sort of thing that gets workers riled up.
Even though union membership has gone down dramatically over the past several decades.
But this is the sort of thing that gets people riled up. So in the long view, it actually makes a lot of sense to keep your employees happy.
Yeah, I don't know if the Attorney General should get involved. Guys, wonderful stuff. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, Donald